Hey, what's up YouTube? I just wanted to make a quick video about my struggles and tribulations. Well, I wouldn't quite call this a tribulation, but the moral of this video is that sometimes you can do things. Sometimes you can just do things. It's like really easy to do them. And that's very good if you want to accomplish that. Because, yeah, I mean, if you're anything like me, you can spend like decades of your life trying and failing, reading like thousands of books, and once YouTube comes out, watching thousands of videos about how to get your ass in gear and just feel like it's wasted. But sometimes things just work, and it's very frustrating, and I feel like all these books and videos are always like, oh, if you just follow our system or do XYZ or believe in this or that, that it'll work for you. And it just hasn't worked for me. But sometimes, I don't know if feeding myself all this has subliminally affected my brain. Or maybe I shouldn't even say this because I'm going to jinx myself. But yeah, I've been able to meditate twice a day for over a week now, and I'm on my second night of a 3-day fast. So there's a lot of propaganda about fasting, like, oh, it's bad, you're starving yourself, you're gonna die. You're not gonna die. I walked like a couple miles today. I did a yoga class. I drove my car. I mean, if you're doing like a 7-day fast or a 14-day fast, you probably shouldn't drive your car. And I do feel a little fatigued. But anyway, the moral is I accomplished that, and I don't really know how I did it. I just wanted to do it, and I made the decision to do it. This is the frustrating thing about self-help, because people can say like, just make the decision, and when you're feeling like lost or addicted or out of control, those people piss you off so much because you're like, asshole, if I could just do it, I would just do it. But sometimes you can, and you should appreciate that and run with it. I'm not saying fasting for 3 days is easy, and I still have tomorrow yet to go, so I could still fail, but I don't think I will, because I haven't fasted in like 15 years. Has it been 15? Maybe 13 or 14. But yeah, the first 2 days are the hardest, and then it's easy. Your body is just like, oh, this is the way it is. Like, the body is very wise. Like, you're not going to die. You're not going to burn away all your muscle. You're going to burn up, like, the junk that's in your body. Like, as someone put it, if you're freezing to death in the house in the winter, you're not going to burn your furniture first. You're going to burn the old dry wood. You're going to burn your old tax files. You're going to burn, and the same thing with the body. It's going to burn, it's going to get super efficient and hunt down cancer cells. And, yeah, but it's very good if you feel bad about yourself. Because, yeah, food is the first addiction. So if you can conquer that, yeah, it does good things for your minds. It just shows you you're strong. Now, obviously, it can be taken to an extreme, but it's ridiculous to say that people who fast have an eating disorder. I mean, fasting, I think, can help with the eating disorder. I mean, obviously, you always have to go back to food, and you always have to have a plan, and you always have to try to eat healthy. But anyway, I don't mean for this to be a long video, but the moral is sometimes you can just do things, and I think it's really important to appreciate oneself when you can, and don't stress too much about finding a system unless you're trying to write a book that'll disappoint a lot of people. I mean, maybe there's books that don't disappoint a lot of people. I mean, I've been disappointed by almost all these self-help books. Recently, I've just been reading autobiographies, and that's much more satisfying because no one's trying to tell you how to live your life or follow their system. You just read about a fellow human being. And yeah, generally, I read about people who've accomplished more than me and also suffered more than me. I mean, as much as I can complain about my struggles, there's always people who've had it way worse. And yeah, I feel like autobiographies are like the best self-help book because you can really feel for someone. And you also can be jealous of them. You can aspire to be like them in some ways and learn from their mistakes in others. And yeah. So the moral is, if you like try and fail 1,000 times and you feel like you're no better than when you started, you probably are better than when you started. So just remember that. I mean, unless you're really, really fucked up, and then maybe you're not. I mean, I don't want to tell everybody that they're better. But if you don't give up, I feel like you will improve. Even if you don't feel like you improved, even if people are telling you you're the same. Actually, it's when people start to tell you you've changed that I start to worry. I don't know, maybe I'm just like afraid to be manipulated, and I've been in settings where people would tell me, oh, you're better, you're way better than you used to be, just because I'm doing what they want. Just because, yeah, because I'm doing what they want, because I'm behaving, can't see the quotes, there you go, behaving better. I know it's supposed to be 2 quotes, but just imagine. So, yeah, fasting and meditating, I'm really looking forward to eating on Thursday. It's exciting. Like, kind of like how I said in my other video, when I don't even remember exactly what I said, but if you're dissatisfied with something in your life, or you feel bored with it, just cut it out. Well, I also haven't been on the internet for 3 days, barring like Google Maps, and I did look up the event times for Tribal Gathering 2019, and that's about it. No Facebook, no. I mean, I'm going to post this to YouTube, but so I didn't plan this out. There's some pauses, but this is how I talk and think. I'm trying to keep it real. My last point. Oh yeah, meditating. You know, people tell you your whole life, like, nothing you do is going to make you happy. Like, happiness comes from within. And I never really bought that. Like, I always wanted to buy it, but my brain is always like, nah, man, when you get this, when you get that, you're going to be happier. Like, what are people, stupid? Like, how could that not make you happier? And I still kind of think that, like, I want to achieve my goals. I'm very lonely. Like, I want to improve my social life. I want to improve my financial life by a lot. But at the same time, I mean, who you are, there are certain things that, as much as you hate them and you want to change, they may or may not change. Like, I don't really know. And you just have to accept that. You have to accept that there are things that may not change. Yeah, the first person who said that to me was Barry Neil Kaufman. I went to this like self-help seminar up at his place in Massachusetts. He like cured his autistic son. I mean, it's like controversial to say that he did that, but he pretty much did that, so whatever. And yeah, and when I first heard that, I was really mad. Because I'm like, nah, man, I'm not going to accept the things about myself I don't like. I'm never going to accept them. I'm never going to be happy with myself as long as I'm like this. But you have to accept how you are in order to change it. In my opinion. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I feel like it makes it easier because if you don't accept who you are, you're basically attacking yourself. And like, the self doesn't like to be fucking attacked. Like, even if you hate parts of yourself, those parts are there for a reason. They're there for your protection. maybe you went through some stuff when you were younger and you have these defense mechanisms. And when you're attacking them, it doesn't matter because they're there for a reason. If you attack them without understanding the reason, they're just going to bear your abuse. Just like if someone's yelling at you and trying to tell you to change, and inside your head you're like, they don't get me, they don't understand why I'm the way I am. And you just kind of block it out. That's the same way when you attack yourself. So yeah, just meditating and been doing this mantra, like, what is it? It's funny, I'm worried about my memory, like, but maybe that'll improve someday. I think my brain is in so many different places, it's hard to even remember what I just said. Oh yeah, I'm alive right now. I'm alive right now. I'm alive right now. And I like that because it's true. It's not some like affirmation that you want to believe. It's just like the facts of the reality. Like, I've been looking at this red door. I really like this red door. So I got an Airbnb to fast. Because like, I have to be real with myself. If I'm like in my house with all my food, like I'm going to eat. So I come here and I have no food. And it's just like, I don't know. For me, changing place, my mom always said, wherever you go, there you are. And that's kind of true. But I do feel like it's good to have a sanctuary, like a place you can go where you're by yourself and you're away from familiarity. So anyway, back to my meditation. I'm alive right now. Like, the moral is, like, you know, when I'm meditating, I inevitably start thinking about, I want this, I want that, and I have these ideas, and I'm like, I have to write them down. And I do dwell a little bit. I kind of give myself, like, I ingrained in my brain, remember this after, and then I try to let it go. I just can't let it go right away. Maybe someday I will be able to do that. But this is it. This is your life. And you'll have peak experiences and peak moments. But you have to accept, like, the fundamental reality of your felt experience, of your internal reality. And if you're always like miserable and hoping things will change, they probably won't. So you just have to accept. I mean, that's the beauty of meditation to me, that I've always read about, but I feel like I'm finally starting to understand, that you're just sitting there and you itch and you feel. My friend David, can you call the airline tomorrow and pretend to be me? I can't figure out the flights. See, I love David. Like, David is a good guy. And I love him because he pisses me off, and it's very hard to explain. But I just see his, like, frailty, but he's willing to admit it, and that is very endearing. Anyway, what was I saying before I saw that text? I was saying, yeah, when you're meditating, you're sitting there, your fucking stomach hurts, your face itches, you like are antsy, you start thinking about people who've wronged you, you start getting angry, and you feel that your energy's not right, you feel like you can't even fucking take a breath properly, like your sternum. And again, this is me, so maybe you can't relate to this shit at all, but I'm sure you have your own version of this. And so you're like, this shit sucks. But that's your life, and you have to accept it. And when you're having peak experiences, like, I've had a lot of cool experiences, but they were always tainted by the fact that I'm like running away from my baseline feeling like shitness. And obviously, even now, when I'm talking about accepting yourself, I have the fantasy that someday I'll be able to have peak experiences without running away from anything. That'll just generally feel good. But that's work, and you have to work at it every day, and that's why I do yoga, and that's why I meditate, and that's why I try to, you know, soothe my fucked up brain. So you should do that too. And the moral of this video is, don't be discouraged if like everything you do fails, because on some level it's not feeling. On some level you are making connections, even if you read a billion books about like how to eat healthy and you still eat like, you know, chocolate bars and, you know, or you're trying to meditate or exercise or have a better relationship with your wife or your husband or your kids or whatever, and it's very difficult and you feel like failure, that's okay. Because you'll have little successes, and the key is to appreciate them. And when I say the key is, what I mean is I'm just talking shit and making this video. So I'm not trying to sell you any keys because I don't know. Probably if you're like me, you know just as much as I do, right? Because you're like me. But if you're the type of person who's like never satisfied and always trying to improve, then you already know. But you just keep experimenting and trying new things, and I hope that it works out for you. And leave some comments in the video, below the video, if you feel like I've made any sense to you. Or maybe you can help me out and summarize some of my key points. You could probably take what I've said and boil it down to like a 2-minute video, and then post that, and probably your video will do better than mine, and you'll get 1 million views and I'll get 10, but that's okay. Thank you for your time.